What's going on, everyone? So, Stu Macher, right? A lot of people really want to see Stu Macher return as Stu Macher, right? Like Matthew Lillard, we know is confirmed that he is coming back to reprise his role as Stu. Matthew himself has confirmed it. We've gotten the reports, all of it, right? It is confirmed. But there is, two different divides here. Obviously, there's a lot of people that don't want it to happen, myself included. I am in that faction of just like, I just want them to continue to progress and move forward. I just think it's so much you have to explain. It's been so long, right? I have said, I think if they were ever going to bring him back, now would probably be the time to do it, because you going into this film, we're kind of in a bit of an influx with Melissa's departure and all that stuff. And it's just like they went, like, what's the safest route? Okay, let's bring Sydney back. And I think another kind of safe route to kind of keep fans engaged. Not all, but, a good amount. There's a lot of, like, Stu stands, right? There's a lot of people that really want Stu to return. But here's the problem. Now that Matthew Lillard is confirmed to return, and you have a lot of people that are super excited for Stu's return. And that's great. Right? Like, whatever they decide to do, right? Again, I'm not a fan of it, but look, good storytelling, good execution, good writing. I do have concerns that even if they do bring him back, that even the Stu stands, even the ones that do want him back, you got to understand there's a real chance that they botch this and they do not do a very good job. And if we're being honest, the legacy storytelling in Scream 5 and 6 was not great. Now, Kevin Williamson is involved, which is good, right? Gives you some type of, like, reassurance. But he's also not writing this, right? He's directing it. I'm sure he has some say in the writer room, but how much is the question, right? So even if Stu does return as Ghostface, there's a real chance that this is not good, right? Like that it's just the story doesn't make sense, or the character himself is not what people expect. Because we all have our thought on what Stu should look like and how Stu should be and so on and so forth. And if he's not that, you're going to get a lot of people like, yes, you completed the fan service, but a lot of those fans are going to be furious. But another big thing, a lot of people are getting their hopes up, and a lot of people are expecting Stu to return as Stu. And I don't think there is more evidence right now that he's not coming back as Stu. And I'm not talking about the evidence of him being alive or dead. I'm talking about Matthew Lillard returning as Stu, but not, like, alive, right? First off, you don't only have Stu returning. It'd be very different if, like, they made the announcement that Matthew Lillard is returning and that's that, right? But no, you have Scott Foley returning, Skeet's returning, Timothy Olyphant is supposed to be returning, like Jill Roberts is supposed to be returning, right? Like, all of these characters, all these past Ghostface are expected to return. And they're not coming back as alive, right? Like, we know some of them for sure are dead, right? Like, so why would they bring Stu back, but all the other ones they're bringing back and are dead? Like, is it more likely that they're all just dead and you're doing the Ghostface voice changer or whatever, right? I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very disappointed when this movie comes out. Again, maybe he does come back. Maybe that's the big twist. It is very possible that they bring him back. It is very possible that, yes, all the other Ghostface are dead, but Stu is alive. Stu is maybe using the Ghostface voice changer, right? Makes sense that he would, use that because maybe he picked it up from Roman, right? Like, there's a million things that you could tie in and kind of make it make sense. But there's also, I think, the biggest evidence, in my opinion, as to why Stu's not coming back as Stu is they announced that, right? Like, if they were really going to bring Stu Macher back as, like, a main fixture or a main piece in this upcoming film, and that was going to be the big surprise and the big shock, why would you announce that publicly, right? Like, out of everything, that's, like, the one thing you would want to keep under wraps. Right? Like, they announced everyone else. Like, you can, if you want to announce everyone else, that's fine, right? But why not? Like, if Stu is really, like, if Matthew Lillard really is reprising his role as Stu, and he really is coming back, and he's going to be alive, and he's not going to be like the other Ghostface who are all dead, right? Why not just keep at least that one under wraps, right? Like, if you wanted to bring back everyone else, let fans speculate and go about their assumptions, whether, like, how come they haven't announced Matthew Lillard? Why isn't Matthew Lillard in this film? Blah, 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 right? Like, you're better off doing that than to announce that, right? So you have all the past Ghostface, or most of the past Ghostface thus far, all reprising their roles. I mean, Scott Foley's talked about it on several occasions now. And then you also have them announcing that, right? Like, one of the first things everybody was like, when we heard the news of Matthew Lillard, everybody, even Stu stands, were like, why would they announce that? Right? Like, everyone was like that's something that you'd want to keep and have be a big surprise. Again, I don't know either way, right? Like, I'm not a part of the movie. I don't, like, my brother's cousin's nephew's uncle isn't, like, on set right now or anything. I don't know. But I don't want to see people, because I just see so much conversation, see so much talk about it. I see so many people just, like, super excited. Anytime I even mention Stu, people are like, yeah, I can't wait to see him back, and blah, blah, blah. And, I love the enthusiasm. I love the excitement. I love seeing, Scream fans passionate and excited about it, right? Like, my buddy Craven, many of you are familiar with and know that me and him, part of Lethal Collective and all that stuff. And, we'll poke fun and joke about, back and forth with each other, because he's a big Stu guy and I'm not. Like, I just don't want Stu to return. But, even him and various other people, like, all are kind of cleaning on to, like, Stu's back, he's coming back, this is the moment, this is the truth, like, this, that, and the other. And there's a very good chance that that's not the case. Again, it's more likely that they're not going to do that, because they announced it, because the other Ghostface are coming back and all that stuff. Again, if it happens, great. A lot of people are going to be very happy, right? I will give it a chance, as I always do. I mean, I'm not super thrilled about it, if that is what they do, but, I'm willing to at least give it a chance. I'm willing to at least see what ends up happening. But there's also, again, a chance that they, one, botch this, and two, that he's not back the way people are expecting or wanting him to be back, right? It could very well just be a flashback. I mean, there's a million other reasons why Stu is back, other than he's back to be Ghostface once again. Right? Like I've talked about, there could be Leslie Macher's connection, and maybe you think it's Stu, but it's not Stu, it's really his sister. There could be, like I said, flashback sequence. It could be a hallucination. Maybe Sydney's hearing all these voices through Ghostface and the voice changer, and, she starts seeing all the past Ghostface in her head and stuff, right? Like, there's a lot of different ways that they can incorporate Stu besides being Stu back, and I just think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed if Stu isn't back as Stu Macher. I mean, I've already gotten comments from people that are like, man, this would be such a missed opportunity if they didn't do this, and blah, blah, blah. And look, I understand the passion. Again, I love the passion. I'm excited that people are excited, right? Because, again, I'm a big Scream guy. And, the more people are excited for it, the more passionate people are about it, the more, conversation and whatnot picks up, the more likely that this film is going to do really well. And if this film does really well, we're going to get more Scream movies. And that's what I want, more Scream movies. Right? Like, I want this franchise to go on forever if they can. It's one of the few franchises that can. But, again, a lot of people, I think, are going to be very disappointed, or potentially be very disappointed. Again, I don't know that for certain either way. But I think a lot of people are running the risk of just going in the Scream movie with a certain expectation. My thing is just calm expectations, right? Like, go in assuming he's not going to be in it, to the level in which you want it. And then that way, if he is, now you're excited. Now you can talk your talk, and you can, be excited and rejoice and all that stuff. But if you go in the other way, all you're doing is setting yourself up for disappointment, right? If you go in expecting, like, hey, Stu's going to be in this film in some capacity, I'm excited to see what that is, right? And you don't expect him to come back as, Stu the Ghostface, then you won't be disappointed when you step into that film and you watch the movie. But if you go in there and you're like, he's back, he's going to, him and Sydney are going to have another showdown or whatever, and that doesn't happen, a lot of people are going to be really disappointed. A lot of people are really going to be upset. But just something I wanted to kind of talk about and clarify. And I might bring this point up again as we move closer to Scream. Because again, I want people to enjoy this movie, but I also don't want people to, I want people to go in with proper expectations. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel with your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? Are you somebody that wants Stu back? Are you somebody that doesn't? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next.